Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here today. We're taking a look at Enjin. And just before we do, take a quick look at Bitcoin, see what's going on there, of course, because any good trader should look at that. And if you're new to the channel, just make sure that you know I'm not a financial advisor. This is for educational purposes only, and you should always do your own research. Just know I've been trading for over 15 years. My goal is to help you become more of an effective trader. I have a trading community referred to as CryptoCache Premium. Check that out, link in the description below. Moving forward, Bitcoin. Looking good, in my personal opinion. I know we had a bit of a retracement and a bounce back, and the price is kind of not sure what it wants to do with that little $4,000 sell-off in 2 minutes, and then jumps right back as if it never happened. But all in all, Bitcoin's in good shape. We have this descending wedge pattern, and it basically just implies that we're going to see a breakout to the upside, because it goes like this. Maybe not exactly in that sound effect, but it does definitely break to the upside eventually. How low it will go, it's hard to say specifically, but I can tell you that 58 and 60,000 are working as pretty strong support levels at this point. So we'll see essentially what happens in the near future, but I would say 60 or 58,000 will be pretty good points in which you might want to consider adding to your position. There's a slight possibility the price may retrace down a little bit further and to kind of hang out around 55,000 because that's where the most amount of volume is in the last just say 2 to 3 weeks of trading. But generally speaking, all in all, very good shape here. Okay, so Bitcoin's good. Now moving on to Enjin. Let's take a quick look here and see what's going on now. It looks like it's breaking above. It probably will stay above here because keep this in mind, on the 1-day candlestick, we have about 50 minutes left for this candlestick to close. Right here at this point, right around 220 is where the previous resistance was. It's going to break above. Obviously, it has broke above, but it's going to stay above very likely in the next hour and close above. So that basically just means that that is now a support level, and we're in very, very good shape here for it to continue to the upside. So breaking its most recent high is very important. That definitely helps a lot. What we want to look at here as well is a few other things. In fact, just before we take a look at Fibonacci, let's quickly glance at the moving averages. Yep, we're above both, which is excellent. Those are going to kind of reaffirm the support level down here if the price were to retrace. And of course, we're up over 70 now on the RSI on the 1-day candlestick. I prefer actually to see this because when it breaks above on the 1-day candlestick, oftentimes during bull runs where you see these kind of ascending patterns here forming, basically it broke to the upside, then you can actually see the 70 on the RSI working as a support level. So in other words, the price comes back down, it'll effectively bounce and continue upwards. And that's because this support level here is now reestablished. That's what happens when you break highs, recent highs, all-time highs, whatever the case. When you break that, you effectively break that on a 70 on the RSI as well, and it creates that momentous continuation to the upside. So worst case scenario, we see Enjin kind of consolidate here sideways right around 220 and bounce. Better case scenario, we see a continuation moving forward. Now we want to look at smaller time frames to identify how long this is going to continue, but we're still in really good shape. Take a look at the 4-hour chart. Something to look at here. We do have, I think we got a reset, but let's take a quick look. Yeah, we're at a 4 on TD sequential. So for lack of better terms, if we do see a continuation of the upside, we have roughly 5 more 4-hour candlesticks, basically 20 hours left of continuation as a possibility. I don't think that'll happen. I think we're going to see a little bit of a consolidation based on this projection and how it's moving upwards. And also with Bitcoin somewhat retracing, we probably should expect to see at least a consolidation around 220. That's my speculation for the next couple days. And then it'll probably leg up or bounce off of that support level because that recent high is going to reaffirm itself as a strong support level. So that's a really good sign. Okay, so take a quick look at the moving averages too. We are above both, which is great. This is also kind of reaffirming that ascending pattern here. So, we're all in all looking at it in pretty good shape, ultimately. Okay, so let's take a quick look here next at the 1 hour. Wait, before we do that, let's take a look at Fibonacci retracement. And this is oftentimes a little off when you have just this random candlestick kind of hanging out near the bottom there. Doesn't always provide the best results. In fact, it doesn't look like it will, so we're going to go ahead and use this instead. We can see that kind of lines up a little bit better with the resistance levels on the 1-day candlestick. So simply put, we got a little bit of a resistance, correction of previous resistance, now current support at about $2.30. So there's a chance the price may not retrace all the way down to 220. It could consolidate sideways at 230 and then break to the upside right past $2.40. So we've actually got these little 10-cent channels that are kind of telling us that we got support and resistance zones here. This is nice. I like that. So simply put, the price should go sideways here between this channel and or the lower channel. and then of course break to the upside. And why I say break to the upside and why I'm expecting that is because again, that support level here at 220 was difficult to break in the past, but it finally broke and was able to close above. Therefore, we're in really good shape here to see that work as a support level. So we do see in a retracement, it'll come down to that point. In fact, speaking of retracement, let's see how much longer we have left here. This looks like we might have got a reset. Yeah, so TD sequential is basically telling us that we should see some sideways action here moving forward, because even though we're not at a 9, we're effectively going sideways. So all good things there in that sense. Let's also take a look at Ichimoku Cloud. And as we can see, it kind of worked as a support level here moving forward, which is great. Because in bull runs like this here, where we have bullish continuations that are trying to break their previous all-time high, or in this case, get closer to its all-time high, we're likely going to see a continuation here. So just say the price goes sideways, right? The cloud will continue to progress upwards because it's working essentially with the price action, right? So a lot of times you'll see the price come down and bounce either off support or the cloud. So I love the fact that the cloud is working within that support channel and is providing that additional support. So I think the likelihood of this retracing down below 220 is very low. The likelihood of it staying above 230 is also very good. So all in all, I think we're going to see this price pretty much stay where it's at for a short while, consolidate and then break to the upside. How soon it's hard to say, but what we can do is take a quick look at potential for the near future based on Fibonacci retracement. Because usually within the next couple of weeks, and let's go right back here where we're at before, if we look at the big picture, we should see the price, I would say within the next couple of weeks, come upwards of about $3. I would say that'd probably be a better case scenario. That's why I want to see a state of consolidation here soon, because we can see these one-day candlesticks are getting larger. And oftentimes too, when you have just say different patterns that form, like for example, when you see these three candlesticks here, they're referred to as like, three white soldiers. The fourth candlestick usually retraces. So this is kind of defying that continuation pattern. And essentially we have an extra day of increase, right? That's all well and good, but without sideways action, this could fall, I wouldn't say fall flat on its face, but it'll fall and it'll come down lower than it should. So for example, Bitcoin right now is consolidating, right? Because we had 3 weeks of bullish momentum from 40,000 to 67,000. When it did that, that's all fine, right? It's great. We took our profits hopefully, and we were able to kind of get get good positions. But the bottom line is that it went up too fast within just say 3 weeks. So it needed to retrace and correct itself. This is moving up fairly quick for 3 days, and if it doesn't retrace or just go sideways for just say maybe a 24-hour period or less, then we're going to probably see it fail and suffer, because the further you fall with cryptocurrency or just trading in general, the harder it is to recover. Okay. So, I mean, if you think about what Bitcoin, what it did here back in, what was it, May? Remember we had that significant decrease all the way down to 30,000, right? Everyone was just kind of like crying about how terrible Bitcoin is. But truth be told, it took this long to recover from this fall. So if just say Loopring were to fall significantly again, it'll take a lot longer for it to recover, right? I'm not sure if I'm explaining myself correctly there, but that is essentially how it works, right? You fall down a flight of stairs, it's going to hurt like hell. You're going to be in a bad state for quite some time. It's going to take a while to recover. This could do the same thing as well if it continues too high too fast. So I just hope it goes sideways and we see a little bit of correction, and then of course a ramp back up to the upside. I prefer to buy the dip. So me personally, if I was taking profits right now, I would have taken some profit, and I wait for the price to come back down to either 220 or just kind of add to my position at 230 if it doesn't show any signs of retracing. Depending on the next 24 hours will follow. We'll see what happens soon. Okay. So that's kind of where we're at there. So hopefully you found benefit here, of course. Hopefully it doesn't provide more questions for you. Again, my prediction is basically closer to $3 within the next month. I think it's very realistic. How it gets there, I would prefer it to kind of do something previous here, like see how this massive increase was followed by a short period of consolidation, 2 or 3 days, and then it ramped up even harder. If we have the same, if it performs the same here, we'll be seeing a nice continuation to the upside just to see $3 and even further. Okay. So thanks again for joining me here today. Appreciate you watching. Check out my Telegram community, of course, and more importantly, my Patreon. Show your support there, and we can learn a thing or two here together. I do have a trading community, again, a really awesome experience. I send out signals for every single trade that I take. It's fully automated with trading bots, so super cool experience. I do trend about 80-85% success rate overall. So check that out in your own time. And without further ado, we'll look forward to seeing the next video. Take care. Thank you.